My name is Gail Christian, and I am the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party candidate for the constituency of St. John's Rural West. You know, there are so many issues that we can tackle in education. So today I am speaking with the Honourable Daryll Matthew, who is the Minister of Education and Sports. There are several issues, like I've said, that concern us in the constituency of St. John's Rural West. Most recently, in Antigua and Barbuda, there has been much talk about this move of the Five Islands Primary School. Several quarters have also spoken of a Five Islands Secondary School. And Prime Minister Gaston Brown has already echoed the government's commitment to early childhood education. We already know that in the Five Islands community, we have the 4th landed campus of the University of the West Indies. So I'm pretty excited to be speaking to Minister Matthew today as he tells us of the plans insofar as education is concerned for the Grace Green community and in particular Five Islands. Minister Matthew, tell me what you have in store for us.
Oh, there's so many things. Can I call you Gail or should I say?
No, okay, so let's go Gail and Daryll.
Gail and Daryll.
All right.
Well, you know, the government's strategy for education is very clear and it's well documented. We, as you've indicated, have put a policy in place where early childhood education will be the focus for the next 5 years of this administration. And so to ensure that that policy is well executed, one of the things that we have done right off the bat is to offer scholarships to persons who are pursuing degrees in early childhood education. Because if you're going to make it a policy, you must have the supporting infrastructure.
Correct.
And the reason why it is important that early childhood education is a part of our major thrust is because we have recognized and studies have shown that students who have access to early childhood education, students who have access to stimulated learning between the ages of 0 and 5 tend to do better. And so we see a widening gap in our society between the haves and the have-nots where access is concerned. And as a result, not only will we be prioritizing, preparing and putting our teachers in place for early childhood education, but we're looking to build out the infrastructure as well.
So when you build out the infrastructure, are there focus areas, focus communities, where are you hoping to start the early childhood education projects? Any specific communities?
Well,
I'm batting here.
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear.
So let me hear what you have in store.
Well, I'll tell you, the infrastructure build-out has already commenced with the opening of the Buckley's Early Childhood Center. We've recognized certain things. The largest concentration of the population in Antigua and Barbuda resides in and around St. John's. But also, and most critically, the persons who are most vulnerable where access to early childhood education is concerned also reside in and around St. John's. And the constituency that you are seeking to represent, the St. John's Rural West constituency, and my constituency, Rural South, we have those persons who are at a lower income level. And so it stands to reason that if the largest concentration of persons live there, and the most vulnerable persons live there, it is only logical that the greatest support ought to be put in those areas. And so I'm pleased to say, Gail, that Rural West is one of those areas that we have prioritized to be front and center and first and foremost where the build-out of early childhood facilities are concerned.
So take me to another burning issue, and that is the relocation. And notice I say relocation because a lot has been said about moving as though it were being taken out of the community, but the relocation of the Five Islands School within the Five Islands community. I want the people of St. John's Rural West to know clearly, and for you to state clearly, what plans are in place insofar as the relocation of the Five Islands Primary School is concerned.
Well, you know, I'm a little envious of you and persons living in that Five Islands community. Because what the government has done by strategically allowing the University of the West Indies Five Islands Campus to be established in Five Islands is that it has really positioned Five Islands to become the center of gravity where economic activity in Antigua and Barbuda is concerned.
Yes.
And while there are those persons who have not in the past, but they're trying to jump on board now to say that the campus should have been located in Coolidge or at the Old Defense Force Base. What they did not recognize is that when you establish a university within a community, it builds economic activity. You need stores, you need restaurants, you need supermarkets, you need other entertainment activities. you need residences. I can only imagine that those persons who own property in Five Islands, the sort of values that their properties
and
are accruing.
And it has already started. You're already
Exactly.
seeing the construction of apartment complexes, supermarkets, restaurants. And so I'm also expecting to see even enhanced infrastructural development.
Of
And
course.
I mean, and in improving our road network, our clinics and so forth. But I want you to take me specifically to what is planned for the move.
No,
what
but
are you
you see,
hoping to establish
It was
in Five
important.
Islands?
It was important to build that context.
Right,
Because
right.
With the university being domiciled in Five Islands, all of that economic activity and all of the economic benefits will accrue to the residents of Five Islands and by extension
The surrounding
residents
areas.
of the Grays Green community.
Yes.
And we now have an opportunity where you have a university that is being built out incrementally. And the plans are absolutely fantastic.
You shared them with me,
I shared
and
them
I
with you.
shared them with our Five Islands community
Are
group.
they excited?
And there are persons there who are excited. They're waiting to hear from you. We're expecting that there'll be a town hall meeting, and so the concerns of the residents can be heard. But I did share that portfolio that you shared with me. I am particularly excited.
I wish I lived in Five Islands.
Right, and I'm happy to be from Grace Farm living in Five Islands because I can
Indeed.
already see the benefits to our people of all of these advancements. So where are you hoping to put the school?
So we are looking to build out the full spectrum of educational institutions in Five Islands.
Right,
So we currently have the Apex,
right.
which is a university campus. We have now identified lands that you're familiar with Five Islands. As you enter the village, going west, before you take that sharp turn by the Keith Edwards' family compound, we are now in advanced negotiations with the family to acquire a substantial portion of that property to build out not only the relocated primary school, and I use the words build out and relocated deliberately, because now having the opportunity to build a new school, we can purpose build it. We can now ensure that when we build this school, we're not going to be growing organically like we've done with the other schools, and you just have a little classroom touched on there and you need a few more seats, so you put a little gazebo outside. We can now purpose build this classroom with audiovisual equipment. I've been advocating in the ministry that we ought to have ergonomic chairs and desks. COVID has taught us that teaching and learning cannot be the same as it was pre-COVID. And we now have the opportunity to really build a state-of-the-art primary school in Five Islands for the benefit of those students. And I'm not sure if you're aware, Gail, but Five Islands is one of the most overcrowded primary schools in Antigua and Barbuda.
I want to tell you this, when I was growing up, Five Islands School probably had less than, it did have less than 100 and sometimes less than 50 in the entire school.
Wow.
And I think it's now the creme de la creme
Absolutely.
of government primary schools. The teachers there do a fantastic job with the students. And so I'm not at all surprised that it's use the word overcrowded, but it's in high demand.
Everyone wants to try to come to Five
and
Islands.
Everybody wants to be at the Five Islands Primary School. So I'm hearing you say early childhood, Five Islands Primary.
And
yes.
we now have the opportunity, given that we have the land space, we now have the opportunity to build out the full spectrum by adding a secondary school on the compound. And here's what that will do, Gail. We now have a teaching degree program at the University of the West Indies Five Islands Campus. And what the university has agreed to do is to ensure that all of the students who matriculate into that degree program will have to do their teacher training, their on-site practice, their practicals at the educational institutions located in Five Islands.
Right.
And so they have made it clear, it is the intention of the university family to partner, to incorporate, like I said, the full spectrum of educational institutions that will now be domiciled right next door.
Right.
Into the university family, the university thinking, the university vibe, if I can call it that.
I'm glad that you took the time to dialogue with me today. And as I listen to you, I can't help but reflect on when others thought that it was not prudent to have a university in Antigua and Barbuda, that we couldn't do it, that it couldn't happen, and much more to put it in a little village like Five Islands. And already we're seeing the benefits of it. Already, I mean, the excitement is there. Simply just hearing of the possible, not possible, more likely than not, growth that will occur. So I'm excited, and I look forward to swift action in the shortest possible time, but structured and properly planned nonetheless. And we look forward to hosting you at the town hall meeting. And so I wish you the very best of luck. We'll be really keeping you to your word, ensuring that...
Please do.
Ensuring that... Well, I mean, I know with certainty that this government will deliver. And like I said, thank you for joining me today. And I hope that as plans progress, you'll come back and speak with us, because I think it is critically important that people are a part of the process. That is what participatory democracy is about. It's not just about electing officials or representatives to Parliament, rather, and leaving it to there. The people of Antigua and Barbuda must be a part of the process, and you can be a part of the process by engaging. And this is what you're doing here today, and we hope to continue to engage you as the government rolls out more plans for the benefit of the people of Antigua and Barbuda.